Today we'll be looking at a client story of someone who was 59 years old with $2.8 million in savings and figuring out whether they can afford to retire now or not. After helping folks like this all across the country plan for early retirement, we've developed specific methods to determine whether substantial savings can actually support immediate retirement at sometimes younger ages. That's exactly why I'm making this video today, to show you whether 2.8 million can actually support retirement at age 59 and ensure your money lasts through a potentially lengthy retirement. And just as a quick note, this is a hypothetical example based on real planning work that we do for our clients. And it's designed to illustrate the process, not to represent any specific individual or guarantee any particular result. So let's get right into it. Now, before we dive in, everything you're about to see is part of what we call the Generations Wealth Diagnostic, a comprehensive assessment that gives you clarity on whether you can retire now, what gaps might exist in your plan, and what adjustments will help you to retire with confidence. It's the framework we use for every early pre-retirement case, including this one. So let's walk through our hypothetical case. We'll call him Rob. Now, Rob is 59 years old. Suppose he has $2.8 million across his 401k, a couple IRAs, maybe even a few taxable investment accounts. And after a long career in engineering management, he's ready to step into early retirement, but he's unsure whether 2.8 million is actually enough to retire and stay retired for 30 to 40 plus years. And this is the part many folks find surprising. Even with several $1 million saved, that uncertainty is unreal. Maybe you feel that way. Taxes, withdrawal sequencing, healthcare costs, Medicare, market volatility. It's difficult to know whether retirement is actually affordable today. That's exactly why he came to us for a diagnostic to figure out whether or not he was ready to retire. So let's talk about the problem. Despite building substantial wealth, Rob didn't know whether he could safely actually retire now. He couldn't translate 2.8 million into a reliable strategy that would sustain his lifestyle even into his 90s or beyond. What he needed wasn't more money, he needed clarity. And the diagnostic exists to answer that exact question. Can you retire today and stay retired? So now, if you feel like you're in a similar situation to the individual that we're talking about in this video, where you maybe have quite a bit of money saved up, but you aren't actually sure whether you can afford to retire early, I want to encourage you, click the link below. We've created a comprehensive video that shows you exactly how to optimize your retirement plan as a whole. Because he didn't have clarity, Robert kept working in a demanding role. Even though he may have already been, financially free, he found himself stuck between what I would call two fears: the fear of retiring too early and the fear of maybe working longer than he needed to. We find that lots of folks all across the country feel the same thing, but we believe that without something like the Generations Wealth Diagnostic to help map it out, he couldn't confidently step into retirement. Now that you've seen how this was truly impacting this particular individual, this next piece is extremely important because we're going to break down whether he can afford to retire now and how you can implement this idea into your particular situation. So these are the key questions that we ask in the diagnostic. When someone comes to us with a similar situation, maybe they're age 59, substantial savings, they want to retire yesterday, we run through the exact questions that we're building into the Generations Wealth Diagnostic. The first question is, what does retirement modeling show about the maximum sustainable withdrawal rate on $2.8 million over 35, 40, 45 plus years? Now, this determines whether the lifestyle that you actually want is supported by the math. The next thing we begin to think about is, how should your portfolio be allocated to balance both long-term growth and immediate income needs? That tells us what our asset allocation needs to be and what you can safely withdraw. So what about a tax-optimized way to withdraw from your portfolio even before your full retirement age so that you don't run out if you live longer than you expect? What if you're, before 59 and a half? How do we deal with potential penalties if they were to come up? And what about healthcare costs? How are we going to plan for that until age 65? This is one of the biggest expenses and concerns for early retirees. So the next thing we do is we stress test that plan against expected market volatility based on your asset level. And we want to figure out how to make a plan that works not just in good markets, but sometimes in challenging ones too. The answers to these questions form the core of your diagnostic score and point towards one of really three outcomes. You can retire now, you should maybe consider waiting, or maybe we need to make some adjustments. So here's how we use the diagnostic to determine whether Robert could actually retire today. So step one, we established real lifestyle spending. We identified his actual cost of living, not a guess, but a clear baseline. Step number two, we included healthcare and insurance costs estimated from 59 to 65. This is often one of the biggest planning gaps for early retirees. There's so much uncertainty about it. Now, step three, we created a tax-efficient withdrawal plan. We coordinated taxable, tax-deferred, Roth, and penalty-free distributions to create the income that he needed. Number four, we reviewed the portfolio allocation. We made sure that the investments both supported his long-term income needs and were expected to keep up with inflation. We stress tested against thousands of market scenarios. From strong bull markets to severe downturns, we pressure tested everything. What we did was we made sure that his portfolio, after we built the allocation, would be able to survive through a number of historic periods and even some that we think are maybe a little bit less likely. So can he retire? Yes, because he made a plan. So that process gave him what we feel he'd been missing for years: clarity, confidence, and a blueprint for the next 30, 35, 40 years. So now that you've seen whether 2.8 million can actually support retirement at 59, you can better understand both the possibilities and constraints of early retirement with substantial savings. If you need more help with your retirement plan, we've put together a comprehensive video and a quick quiz that dives deeper into early retirement strategies. In this exclusive video, we break down exactly how to optimize your plan for your given situation. Click the link below to watch and discover how to maximize your wealth in retirement. I'm Ian Weiner. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.